That was so fun, Jason.
It was
Thank you.
wonderful.
So I think you're on mute. You're on mute, Jason. So it's okay. We've all come in. I don't know why. It's probably there. You are. Thank you so much. That was really fun. Really.
I felt like I was with you.
I know, but our shoes are clean.
You don't have to take a shower now.
It was amazing.
I know. Jason, what are those knee pads? It seriously looked like you took boots and stuck them on your knees. What are they for?
They're pretty normal here. I think builders use them when they're kind of sanding floors or working on the site, the construction site. They use those. So it works out well for us. Yeah, so you don't get nails or other nasty things cutting you. So
yeah, very, very cool. How fun. Well, that was really, really great. So you said you took us to 6 different places. Was that like typically do you go to those 6 places, or were any of them like just out of the ordinary?
Those are kind of all my favorite spots. So I did want to give away the exact find spots.
I get it. We
all
get it.
Where I was. But if you know London, then you kind of recognize the bridges, because that's the kind of clear giveaway as to where I was.
So when that seal was there, like, or there was one part where you could see a whole bunch of mud flats. Is that like the lowest it ever gets? Is that like the lowest tide, or?
No, that wasn't. It even goes out further. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's why we go night larking, is because the summer night tides are the lowest of the low. So yeah, it's quite
you
exciting.
Wear a headlamp?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
You did.
Jane, have you been night larking, Jane?
Well, I haven't been. Yes, I've been night larking. I haven't been night wading.
Okay.
No, don't do that. Hi,
Jane. Yeah.
Might get swept away.
I have thought about that, but I think that would be a bit scary. But yeah, no, I have been night larking.
With Flory?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, we've when you had your big exhibition, we went night larking a few times then, and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was muddy fun though, goodness me. I mean, the anaerobic mud, you cannot underestimate how sticky and kind of black and inky and strange it is. And Flory, one night I went out with her, she pulled out a Tudor child's sole of a shoe, and that was absolutely incredible. Yeah, really good find. Really hard to get it out, actually. It's hard work, isn't it? It can be really hard work.
It's so funny. Like all beachcombers have that same technique. You pull it up, you try to rub it, and then you go find the water and rinse it off.
It's good that the water is so handy, though, so you can rinse.
Yeah, that's true. Jason, did you ever find out what that swastika was? It looked like it had like a button on the back. Like,
yeah, I think it did have like a fastener on the back. I haven't cleaned it yet to see exactly what it is, but I think it is a button.
That's pretty crazy.
I think it's a Hindu offering. The swastika is a very ancient symbol. The Nazis adopted it, but it's actually predates them. The Egyptians used it. The Hindu culture still uses it.
We used it. It was in like Good Housekeeping as a symbol for welcome and whatever. You know, it's like
before World War II. Yeah.
Ruined a perfectly good logo.
Yeah. I found a vulcanite stopper down in Cornwall, actually, with a big swastika, and it's the symbol of St Austell Brewery, and it was such a surprise. But then you look it up and you realise that it was just appropriated by the Nazis, and it had been around forever. But
was that Victorian then, that bottle stopper?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So just sort of end of the 19th century. And the Nazis appropriated it, but yeah, you sort of go. It's a bit of a shock, even knowing that when you do see it, isn't it? It's just so sort of.
Hey, I'm seeing someone who joined in from 831, and that looks like that could be Kathy, but you're on mute. So if you do want to ask a question, just unmute yourself. I don't know how, but that's all I can say. I only know that's my area code. So, and I saw her in the chat.
So is that Santa Cruz then?
Yep, 831 is
nice.
Santa Cruz and Monterey.
Well, Jane and I want to come visit.
Okay, I'm ready.
We feel like we know you already.
You
But,
do. You do.
yeah. My
I feel
kids-
like I've met Jane. I haven't
Oh.
actually met her, but Jason, I have met you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You know what? I should do a welcome to everybody, and I have to introduce Jason. I know we all know you, but I just have to say that you're an architect living in London. You're a member of, what is it called? The
Society of Thames Mudlarks.
Society of Thames Mother. There you go. And you've been on television, you've been in magazines. I think you've written 20 articles for Beachcombing now. And so anyway, it's just great to have you here. I loved that video. That was so much fun.
Great.
Yeah, wasn't it?
It was.
What was your favorite, Chris?
I love when Jason finds the pipe bowl and you think, oh, it's going to just be the bowl.
Yeah.
And then he starts pulling it and it gets,
Yeah.
it just keeps
Yeah.
getting longer and longer. And I'm wondering, how long is
Whoa,
this?
look at
stem?
that.
It's
This
amazing.
is one of my longest ones, and that's on this wall.
It's so gorgeous.
Yeah, it's
So
amazing they don't snap off much
I
closer.
know, it's incredible.
So
Yeah.
in the olden times, when somebody bought the pipe, it was like already filled with tobacco, right? Was that how they?
Some of them were, not all of them. It
Okay.
kind of depends on what era that was. But I love the story behind these because Jane will tell you as well. They're called church warden pipes.
Why?
And, churches at that time period, they were open 24/7. So this is from the 18th century. So
Mm.
churches were always open and anyone was welcome every time of the night. So the
Yeah.
wardens were there to kind of make sure nothing mischievous happened.
Yeah.
And everyone smoked. I mean, whether you're Christian, whether you're a non-Christian, everyone smoked, but you weren't allowed to smoke in church and they weren't allowed to go outside the church to smoke. So what they did is these very long pipes, they would have it like sitting out the window. So
That
they'd be
is so
smoking
funny.
in the church, but kind of
No.
like actually it was outside of the
That's
church
so
window.
cool to
So
see.
that's why they're
Yes.
called church wardens
Very,
because
very
they're so
unique.
long.
That's crazy.
They're fantastic. And those garnets that you find, I just love the
Mhm.
garnets too. Do
What
you
are
do
the
anything
latest
with them?
theories? Yeah, what are the latest theories on those?
I mean, this all conjecture, really. I've even spoken to the Natural History Museum in London. I've spoken to the Victoria and Albert Museum in London, the Museum of London itself. Nobody knows exactly where they've come from. The large one that I found, the 8.2 carat garnet, they were able to identify that from coming from Sri Lanka.
Oh,
And they
so
say it's
somebody brought it as a gemstone.
Yeah, that was imported over, but they're not sure exactly what all these kind of smaller garnets were
Right.
used for. A lot of people say they were crushed and made into almost like a sandpaper because garnets
Oh,
are very
I did hear
hard.
that. Yeah.
And
Oh,
on the Mohn scale, I think they're like a 7.2 on the Mohn scale, which is very hard. So they
Huh.
were used for like sandpaper, for sandblasting
Can
and
you
other
imagine?
uses. But
I
some
know,
of them,
what pretty sandpaper.
No.
wow, but
thing is,
some
they
of them
actually
are
have
just
that-
absolutely stunning.
Yeah, they have
They
that
were.
natural, the natural, the way that they sort of cleave naturally. They have a sort of a naturally faceted look about them, don't they? So you sort
Yeah.
of,
That's
Yeah,
was-
some of them are a bit broken on one side, but most of the time they have their own kind of natural facets.
Oh, that's
beautiful.
cool.
They're
Yeah.
beautiful.
Very, very fun.
Yeah, mudlarks have made lots of different types of jewelry with them. And our friend Flory, her daughter found an absolutely massive garnet. And she was, I think, 3 years old when she found it. And it's the largest one I've ever seen. It was found by a 3-year-old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like about, yeah, it's kind of this big.
Yeah,
It's-
they're like so
it's-
close to the ground, those little kids, you know,
Yeah,
but they're
exactly.
highly,
They haven't
highly
They can see
untrainable.
better.
Yeah.
They can see better.
Yeah, they can totally see better. They're really close, but they're not very trainable. I tried. Ugh, very disappointing.
Because
Very
it's not
disappointing.
just garnets you find, Jason, is it? You find agate. There's little agate spills on the Thames also, isn't there? More stories and possible reasons for that.
Yeah, I mean, they all find all different types of gemstones, to be honest. Some are cut, some are just rough and haven't been cut yet. But yeah, because there was so much trade happening in London and everything kind of
Sure.
just fell in the Thames or fell off a boat. But you think they would have been a bit more careful with diamonds and other things.
Sadly, yeah.
They were really sad when they dropped that.
Well, I mean, a lot of times we find engagement rings and wedding rings, and they were thrown into the Thames in frustration. So it's kind of a negative story. I've offered several to my wife before, and she's like, "No, they're cursed.
those
I don't
those
want
are
them."
cursed. Yeah.
Have you found many rings, Jason? Have
Yeah.
you found lots of rings? Yeah.
You've seen the one that Flory found. We even put it in the magazine last year. It had like 5 beautiful diamonds in it. I mean, it was stunning.
Absolutely.
And she always tells a story that her partner has never proposed to her. So she had to find her own engagement ring.
That's good.
It's a good one, right?
Yeah.
Really good one. But yeah, just think of the frustration to throw these things away. I mean, I find rings, and I've been finding, I've found a few gold rings now, and just it's shocking, really. I guess it's the ultimate sort of, sort of passion. Throw it in, gone. Don't sell it, just poof, gone.
Yeah.
It's not like they're rowing their boat and they say, "Honey, will you marry?" Oops. It's not that.
Certainly, no, not in the places that I've been finding them. No, it's not somewhere you go for a paddle.
That's true.
Well, that's why I kind of focus my efforts along bridges, because a lot of people just throw things over from a bridge.
That's true.
So that's really where I found all of my rings. So it was thrown in the river because of frustration or anguish. So
wow.
So in your video, it was pretty empty when you were filming. Are you there really early or really late, or are there just not a lot of people down there?
it depends on where you go. So I live in West London. So my area of the river, I am pretty much alone the whole time.
That's
Wow.
I
amazing.
might see a few dog walkers and other people. Central London is packed though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on like a Sunday morning or a weekend day, there can be 40 people
Oh,
walking in
wow.
the same area. And a lot of the kind of veteran mudlarks are just kind of fed up. But
He is here. Let's see, you're connecting to audio, so. Well, that's pretty cool. So, but it's kind of gross on the, like, you wouldn't want to walk your dog there necessarily because their
No,
feet would
unless
be
it had
cut.
boots on. Your dog had boots on.
Yeah. Is your dog there, Chris? I saw he visited you last time.
He's laying down right beside me.
Okay, good. That's important.
And Chris, where are you located? Where do
In
you
New
live?
Jersey.
Oh, New
I
Jersey.
live in New Jersey, yes.
Nice.
And boy, would I love to go there where you are.
I know.
We don't have the history here.
Hmm.
Come to California, Chris, it's even worse.
Really?
I think you have a hidden beach out there, Kirsty.
Yeah, but it's like the history back to 1940. You know,
Same,
it's not really that
Right.
old.
right. Won't be finding any
Yes.
stamps 1680.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. No, I mean, there
It
were Native Americans living here, but the people who lived here were more hunter-gatherers. They did not build grand structures. They did not have any, they traded. They did not have any money. So there's no coins coming up out of my beach.
Yeah. Do you find flint tools like arrowheads or
I
anything
think
like that?
they have a lot of obsidian. So, which is a volcanic. And so they use, obsidian that's been cut and flaked, but I haven't found any. And if I have, I probably wouldn't have recognized it. Like half of the stuff you picked up, Jason, I never would have seen. It's like, oh, look, there's a coin. What?
Well,
You have to get used to whatever is the
exactly.
normal stuff and then start
Yeah.
looking for the anomalies. When
Your
I
eye gets trained, I think.
when I went to
Yeah,
see
totally.
him, I was like, oh my God, the rocks here are so colorful. How am I ever going to find anything? But you eventually get used to it.
Well, fortunately, we kind of crawl on our hands and knees, hence the knee pads. So we get down really close. I don't see how Jane finds anything because you're up way above.
She's got our magic viewing screen.
Yeah, but still, you're not like on the bottom.
I am bent double, to be honest, and my back is telling me. But
Yeah.
after an hour or two, my back is killing. But
you're not picking up tiny beads.
I could really do with being closer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in the summer I will have a go at doing a bit of snorkeling. and try and get down in there. But the thing is, it's the water. It's quite hard because in the sort of some of my favorite places, the water is so fast. You have to have 2 feet firmly anchored into the riverbed, otherwise you can't really.
I think you have to invent a harness with a couple of anchors on it, and then you just grab it there, let the water go by.
Or just latch onto 2 trees. And
there you go.
Lash myself to the side, yeah.
Or bring your 2 assistants to just hold on to you. It's, really.
But having a glass.
You guys see me?
Yes, we see you, and now we hear you, Svea. How are
good.
you?
Thank you. I didn't want to interrupt. It was a little tricky getting into this, but I'm here. So
I'm so glad you're here. Did you watch the video?
I did. I saw it all. It was very interesting. I loved it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for all that helpful information. I'm looking forward to one day getting out there and mudlarking on the Thames. Yeah.
Are you in California?
I am. I'm in, I live near Kirsty. I'm in Capitola near Santa Cruz.
Okay. Yeah, I see your jumper, Santa Cruz, on it. So
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to show everybody.
ooh,
Cute.
Sure. Did you get yours, Chris?
I did. Thank you very much.
Excellent. So yeah, that's what you guys get after. I don't know. Chris was like one of the first 3 or 4 people to join the club, so she's already on her 2nd set of swag. So
Woo.
yeah, so that's for gold members.
It's such
Janie.
nice swag too.
I'm glad you like it. It's all stuff that I like, so really it's just for me.
I like the V-neck.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I really like. I don't like regular t-shirts. So yeah, again, it's just for me, Chris. Okay.
Good choice.
And Jane and Jason, if you give me your size, I'll send you guys one.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Ooh. Yeah, you'll be
Well,
so
thanks
stylish.
for the calendar you sent me this week. It's
Yeah, no problem. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, Jane, your purple bottles. Oh, I really want that purple bottle though. It was good. Chris, and
collector's
Svea, I don't
item.
know if you know, but there was a printing goof, and the first 200 magazines that got printed, the color was off. So I'll show you the bottle that's on
Oh, so it's
Page-
the first 200 of the. It was the
page
first sort of-
31. This bottle was a
Right.
gorgeous purple. It
Ah,
was so pretty, but not exactly accurate. So yeah, it was just the 200 that went out to all of the contributors and all of the people who have shops. And I'm like, okay, yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, it's fine. Of all things to happen, I
well,
can
one day
fix
it'll
that.
be a collector's item.
That's what I said. It's like the inverted 2-cent stamp
Right.
or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
do want a purple poison bottle. So, that's all I got out of it. Get working on
I'm
that,
looking
Jane.
for one.
Well, at least it's only happened once, this printing error. I mean, you've been
I
doing
know,
it
I
for
know.
years, so
I know, and it's just the way they print, they have a ton at the beginning where they're just sending millions of pages through the press and trying to get all the colors balanced. And this was some of them at the beginning. And usually they're supposed to throw away the make ready pieces. And then they have some that they send through the bindery to get that all going. And they're supposed to throw away the bad ones. And just some of that make ready that was too pink got bound and shipped. So yeah, it's always something. That's not the worst thing that's ever happened. So I'm good.
What is the worst thing that's ever
Oh,
happened?
well, the time that 30,000 packages were printed up with the back upside down in China, that was pretty bad. But it wasn't for beachcombing. But yeah, I've been doing graphic design for 30 years. So I've had, oh my God. I one time actually had to say, stop the presses. I was like, oh, yeah. And then I said, start again. I said, nobody's going to notice this but designers. So it can go. But yeah, there's always something. There's a typo in every menu. There's an error in every book. You just got to go with it.
True.
But speaking of which, remember, since
So
you
who's
guys
the
have
winner?
all been here, you guys will be entered to win one of Jason's books.
Oh,
So-
that's great because
Amazing.
I pre-ordered my book back in January and it still hasn't arrived.
Well, you don't want that crummy one because this one's autographed and it has the wax
Ooh.
seal with the Chris Braga K on it.
That's true.
Yeah, he has one of those wax seal things for every letter. No, it's not.
Next.
Jason, you just got to send me that K because honestly, no, I don't want
Yes, we can share it.
it. Exactly. all the people who have K's for their name. No. So
Jason, what's your favorite things to find?
So I like the really old stuff. So I've always been a coin collector. So I really love the Roman coins. And I've already found 2 this year.
Wow,
Wow.
really?
I found this one a few years ago on Father's Day. My kids took me mudlarking on Father's Day, and this was my gift from old Father Thames.
That's great.
Wonderful.
But anything Roman, really, and medieval. I love those 2 eras, but they're very rare to find.
Yeah.
So,
How old are the Bellarmine jugs? Those are
Tudor, so like 16th, 17th centuries.
Wow,
They're
that's
really old.
Yeah, so they are as well. But again, Roman stuff is about 2,000 years old.
Right.
So
It's all relative. Well, I find mid-century. That's about the
yeah,
oldest I find. so-
exactly. Back to 1950. Woohoo.
Yeah, woo, that's ancient.
Yeah. I think the oldest thing I think I found in Santa Cruz was Svea. I don't know if you remember, but like 5 years ago, we had terrible, really big storms in the winter, and it in like New Brighton, where the steps go down, and then there was like a 4-foot drop to the beach. So all the sand had been pulled away. And I found a piece of a bottle that was, it was broken, but it looked like it hadn't been worn at all, probably because it was buried so deep, and it was from 1888. And that's
Oh my
Wow.
goodness,
that's
that's
the oldest thing I've
amazing.
ever found
Good to
here.
know it's, yeah.
wow.
Somewhere deep under the sand. Well, besides the fossils that are millions of years old. So
Right.
Well, I gave a little talk this week to 2 classes at an elementary school in Knoxville, Tennessee. It's great.
Oh,
to see.
fun.
Yeah, it was so much fun to kind of see their hands go up and all these questions. The
Oh,
best question that I had, not what the oldest thing is, but have you ever found a Bitcoin?
Next to a non-fungible token. It was right there in the
Exactly.
mud.
I still don't really understand.
Oh, I wish I had, because they're worth like 40,000 each now.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think the kids understood they're not actually tangible things. It's all
Right.
so.
No, they
Yeah,
are
that was
not.
the
bet-
cutest question that I get.
I bet the kids loved it, because something that I always see commented on is that people always say, if only I'd learnt my history through mudlarking at school,
Oh,
I would have been that much more interested in history now. You know, it's sort of, you know, in the classroom, it was such a dry subject,
Yeah.
but you really bring it to life, Jason, and it just, I bet those children were just like, yeah.
yeah. I bet. What was their favorite thing that you talked about? Could you tell?
They didn't really tell me their favorite thing, but the reason why this came about is, if you remember, like a few months ago with the seal matrix, I did a few kind of impressions and I sent them to the kids.
Oh,
and
you
so
did?
They wrote back to me, sent me 36 handwritten letters, and I was just like,
Aw.
so cute.
Nice.
And
Cute.
then the teacher asked me to kind of speak in their class. So my plan is now to do a whole box of goodies for them. So all different types of pottery, from Roman, medieval,
Oh,
Tudor,
wow.
into current.
I want to
and
be
then
in
let
that
them-
class.
Yeah, exactly.
And then let them figure out how old they are. So we have
Mhm.
identification charts, which kind of lets you sort things, and then send a few old coins for them. But I think that'll really make learning come to life for them.
Worked
Yeah.
for me.
So Jason,
Yeah.
some of your stuff is in museums there. How does that happen? Do you find something and go, this is super, super cool, I got to ask somebody? Or like, how does that work? Like, what can you keep? What do you not keep? What do you want to give
Or
to
how do you
museum?
know that
Yeah. How do you
you
know?
can't keep it?
Yeah.
So anything that's 300 years or older, you have to report to the Museum of London. And it's a great service because they make an appointment with you. You go in about 3 or 4 times a year. And when I first started mudlarking, I took like a whole plastic bag, like a shopping bag full of just all my stuff that I thought might be interesting.
Mhm.
And they're just like sifting through and
Throw it out.
away. And it's like the most obscure thing that you didn't think was worth anything or interesting at all. That's what they're like, wow, this is fantastic.
Wow.
So yeah, but it always happens. Like the things that you think are just trash, they're like, wow, this is fascinating. And then they just ask to acquire it into their collection, and then you sign a form. And you hand it over to them. So I've been quite lucky to have a few things not only acquired by them, but also on display by them.
Cool.
Yeah, but a few years ago, case in point, my father went mudlarking with me, and he found this this stone that had a bit of a carving. It had a circle and a dot that had been carved into it. And I said, Dad, that's nothing. Throw it back. Don't even bother taking it home. And he's like, Jason, I'm sure this is something interesting. The museum should see it. And I was embarrassed to show it to the museum because like, this is from my dad. He thinks it's something. And the museum literally like almost fell off their chair. And they're like, oh, we don't have this in our collection. Can we have it? And they took it on the spot. And they're like, oh, this is a very rare cloth seal mold. And it was slightly unfinished. But when I checked at home, like a cloth seal, it fit perfectly straight into that. So it definitely was that. So you should always pick it up.
Yeah.
You can always take it back if you want to, which I do at times. But yeah, just always be curious and take things in. You just never know what's good and what's not good.
Yeah, there was like at one point, okay, first of all, you threw away the bottleneck that the stopper was in, and I was like, no!
Yeah.
And then
Really?
some other point, you're like glossing across the water, and there's like this super cool old antique key, and I'm like, he's not even grabbing that thing.
Yes. Grab it all.
We noticed that.
It was so funny. Yeah.
I just don't have any place at home anymore.
I know.
So, yeah.
We've seen the table. We know. No, it's a great. So where is your collection? You seem to be sitting where you were in the video. So that table was that your desk or?
Yeah, that was just my coffee table in the living room.
Oh, okay.
I used to have my collection in a special room.
The trophy room, yes.
My daughter just became a teenager in February.
Yeah.
So as a present, we kind of cleaned out the extra room and that became her bedroom.
Oh,
So she's very happy to have her own bedroom now.
yeah.
Now all of my stuff is kind of on top of shelves and kind of mixed around the house. So nothing's on display at the moment, unfortunately. But
You're like a museum. They only have like 10% of their stuff out on display at any time.
that's
so.
true. That's true. Well, one mudlark had a great idea, which I'm going to copy, and that is their coffee table is a glass top, and then it's a box underneath.
That's
and
what
they have
I
a
have.
Yeah, Chris has one of those.
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Oh,
I do.
love that.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
Send me a
it's so
photograph.
funny because sometimes when we have workmen come to the house, I say to my husband, oh, I'm so worried. Like, what about my sea glass and treasures in the table? And he's like, Chris, no one is going to steal your sea glass. I feel like it's, needs to be locked or something. But what about my stopper?
I know, like my studio, I don't even know where the key is to it, but I'm like, if somebody went in there, they'd go, it's a bunch of shells and broken glass. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like
We all
all the treasures.
We understand. Yeah.
all
Yeah.
your precious. I know.
Well, it's been sad this year because of COVID. All of our exhibitions have been canceled, but
No.
they've just confirmed a new one that we're going to have in September, Jane, if you want to come to London. It's in St. Paul's Cathedral.
How fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just for a long weekend. So it's about 4 days. So it's just quick. But yeah, it's going to be exciting to actually be in such a historical place. They're going to do tours, offer tours of the cathedral during the exhibition. So it's just going to be a fantastic place to exhibit.
So how
stuff.
much stuff will you bring there, Jason?
So what we want to do, and again, I try to involve the whole mudlarking community.
Yeah.
Last time we did the Foragers of the Foreshore exhibition, everybody had a glass kind of display case and they put their stuff in there. But because this is such a short exhibition, what we thought is everybody gets a table and they stand by their table and they just have it on display so people can come and hold things and touch it and feel the weight of history and also just interact with the mudlarks. Whereas last time you just saw a display case and there was no kind of explanation or nobody around necessarily telling you what the objects were. So we're going to try to make it more personal this time and rotate the mudlarks. So about 6 different mudlarks will exhibit every day. So every day will be a new collection on display. So encourage people to come back for the whole duration and meet different mudlarks, see what they found. And everybody has a different eye for different things.
Yeah.
Jane, you love your bottles. Other people like myself like Roman stuff. Everybody has an eye for different things and have a very diverse collection. So
Fun.
Let's go. Come on, Chris.
I know. I really want to go.
I know. I'm going to drag you there. I'm going to knock you out and drag you there.
And then pop over to Scotland.
Yep. We'll go up through Seaham to Scotland. It's going to be a grand tour. Oh, we got to go by the Jurassic Coast too.
yeah,
That's
I'm going in 2 weeks. I can't wait to go again.
Oh, it's so cool.
No, there's a dump down there. Nicola White just did a video down near
Lyme Regis or where?
Yeah, there's a well-known bottle dump leaching into the sea right where
Yeah.
everyone's looking for fossils. I didn't know that.
Is that Weymouth?
No, it's right there in Lyme Regis.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Oh,
Yeah, there's an old Victorian, and some things are even older. I found a Georgian coin there as well.
Oh,
But
goodness.
the what do you call it in English? The trash. What do you call those things?
Landfill?
the dump?
Landfill, exactly. Yeah, that's slowly falling into the sea, and then everything is just being kind of eroded away and stirred up. So you find like beautiful ammonite fossils next to like Victorian jewelry. So I found several pieces of Victorian jewelry the last time I went.
Oh, right.
So-
I didn't know anything about it. So
Yeah.
making a
So
plan for
I think a few magazines ago, somebody wrote about finding, Sharon Boone wrote about finding a hand grenade on the beach down there.
Yeah.
And in the story, she referenced that when she brought it to the police, they said, oh, somebody else found one here a year ago. And that woman just called me. She goes, what was that name of that beach where she went? Because I was the one who found the hand grenade the year before. And it was totally smooth. It didn't have like that waffle kind of
Oh,
pattern. Totally smooth. She picks it up, she shakes it,
Oh my God.
Goodness.
puts it in her backpack, spends the rest of the day beachcombing with it, and then thinks,
Oh.
I should figure out what this is.
oh, wow.
Live
So
to tell.
the reason they put the waffle pattern on it was because this one, when you throw it, it was too slick. And they would drop, so, you only have 5 seconds to get rid of it. And if it drops, you're dead. So that's why they put the texture on it. So it's easier to chuck it. But yeah, I was like, oh my God,
Wow.
what a
So
terrible story. So be
What year
careful,
did you
Jason.
find that one?
That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
Weymouth.
What year was that though?
2 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, maybe. Very
Because
recent.
when I was at Lyme Regis the last time, the bomb disposal unit had to come and explode a grenade as well. So I
Yeah,
think
that
it's
was
about-
this year. That was probably Sharon.
No, this was 2 years ago, 2019, when I was there last.
Oh, okay.
And yeah,
I
they
don't know
shut
when it
down
was.
part of the beach.
Yeah.
So it must be a pretty regular occurrence, unfortunately. So
So be careful at the dump.
yeah,
Okay?
okay, don't pick up anything that looks like a pineapple.
Yeah, you don't have that in New Jersey, Chris. I don't have that on my beach.
Good. One less thing to worry about.
Nothing in New Brighton, Svea.
Right. We're good.
We're good. We have really old stuff there, but
Yes.
other than that, who knows? Well, yeah, that was really, really fun. So you're going to Lyme Regis. Are you looking for fossils then, Jason?
Yeah, we're actually going with 3 other families. I've been
Oh, you
talking about this for such a long time, and they're like, we want to come too.
Yeah,
So
that's
we've
great.
all, because in England, starting on Monday, you're allowed to go on a holiday abroad, but there's only like 12 countries that you're allowed to go to, and most of them won't let you in. So
Nice.
we've just booked just to stay here in England.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're also going to Plymouth, which I've always wanted to go to because the Mayflower kind
Yeah.
of set sail on the final journey over to the States from there, and they have a Mayflower museum. So I'd love to see that. Jane, have you seen that?
No, I haven't, but I've got relatives in near Plymouth, so we travel through there. We go a bit further down towards St Austell Way and Foy, and we go down to Cornwall every year, and we're going in a few weeks.
Oh, nice. For half term.
No, we tend to go through Plymouth, but it's a wonderful place, and I'd love to go. There's a sea pool that you can swim in. What do they call it? It's got a
Yeah,
special...
tidal pool. Yeah.
Yeah, lovely tidal pool, and it's sort of Art Deco-y, I think, isn't
Yeah,
it?
they said it was built in the 1930s. So
I'd love to visit there as well.
yeah, I think it'll be too cold to go swimming when we're there, but
Yeah.
sea in England is always cold.
Do your kids like beachcombing, Jason, or are they?
They're slowly getting out of it now. They used to be into it, but now they can't be bothered. Having said that, my daughter did film a lot of that footage that you saw tonight.
Oh, I was wondering who your cinematographer was.
Yeah. So she enjoys that. She actually goes to an acting class, so she likes being behind the camera as well as in front of the camera.
Oh, that's good.
That was very helpful. So she was giving me tips like, Dad, you need to look at the camera more. You're always looking away, and speak up more, Dad.
That's funny. That's good. She knows. When you were at the North American Sea Glass Festival, it was very fun having your son there. And then when you had the table set up, you had those glass cases that you could open up and pull stuff out. And that was really fun too. So even if you guys had like at your event, if you had some stuff in cases that people were afraid of losing.
Yeah, exactly.
That was really fun.
Yeah, it's always so fun to interact with people, and that was one of my highlights of my life, going to the
it was so
festival, because it was so nice to interact with so many different people and have a chat face to face. I'm just tired of Zoom now, so.
I know. Every time I get on Zoom, I go, God, my hair's really flat.
You all have a nice background. Mine's like the bed.
This is my mom's house.
Like libraries.
I know, I'm at my mom's house, so she has better internet than me. So
I have a question. At the beginning of your video, Jason, you showed us like what you should wear and bring as far as a rake and whatnot. What do you recommend bringing as far as packing the nice detailed things you find that are susceptible to breakage and that, like a backpack with bubble wrap, or?
Yeah, like how do you bring your stuff home?
Yeah, like the long pipe stems.
Yeah.
I just wrap it up in just like plastic bags that I take with me, so I don't have any kind of foam. But a lot of mudlarks have snapped long pipes on the way home, which is so
that must be heartbreaking.
Survived 300 years in the river and you snap it on the tube on the way home.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you do have to be careful. And when I found my first complete torpedo bottle, I was like guarding this so much, because I found many broken ones, but I've only found one. I know Jane has a whole collection, but I only have one complete one, and this is like.
You're so lucky to find that in central London. I mean, goodness me.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. I mean, the bottoms, the little bottom bit sort of seems to be indestructible, doesn't it? You find those quite
exactly.
often. But to find a complete one, that's incredible. It's a beautiful one.
Yeah. Still looking for a cod bottle. That's still on my bucket list. So.
Yeah. So what is on your bucket list, Jason? What haven't you found yet?
Well, I'd still love to find like a Roman brooch. That's pretty high up on my list. You know, the kind of.
What would that be made of? Metal?
They're made of bronze, and some of them are inlaid with like a enamel. So they're actually painted. And my favorite is called a dolphin brooch or a bow brooch, and it has a beautiful curve on it. And the Roman women used to pin it up here, and they had like a garment that they would sling over their undergarment, and it was just pinned here, but it was very decorative. And a lot of metal detectors on fields find these things in the UK, but they are very, very rare in London.
Yeah. Have you found one, Jane?
No, that would definitely be on my bucket list as well. I have bought a metal detector actually. So.
Have you?
Yes, I've bought a waterproof one. But I've only got one permission at the moment, and that's my parents' garden. So I thought I might post something on Instagram and show. I've found a few nice things in their garden, to be fair, but I'm learning how to use it, and it takes time. You know, I want I thought I might do a little post on Instagram and appeal to people and see if there's anybody locally that would let me have a little go on their land. Because it's all about, I don't know what the laws are in America, but over here it's you know, obviously you can't go anywhere, even public spaces or footpaths, without the landowner's permission. So
I thought you could walk anywhere in England. What was that?
yeah, but not with a metal detector.
Oh, got it.
yeah. Oh no, you can't walk anywhere in England. No. I think the rules in Scotland are slightly different, aren't they? There's a different rule. But yeah, no, you public rights of way and things. It's all very
But we're still very lucky here in England to be allowed to search for these lost treasures and keep them, because a lot of countries, like in Turkey or Greece or Italy, you get arrested if you're caught with any antiquities.
Oh, wow.
So it's illegal.
Can't just say I was on the way to the museum. So Jason, you have to get a permit to go mudlarking, but you have another permit so you can scrape or whatever. So what is the difference there, and how do you get one of those?
Yeah, so everyone can just apply for a standard permit, which means you can scrape kind of south of the river. And if you're outside of the central London area, you can scrape and dig and use a metal detector if you want to.
Oh, okay.
By digging, it's only down to like 3.5 inches.
Got it.
So it's not very far. You can't dig a big hole. But I'm part of the Society of Thames Mudlarks, and we have a long tradition of working very closely with the Museum of London. And you have to kind of record things over many years. It took me 6 years before I became one of the members. And then we have special permissions to dig up to a meter down, so about 3 feet we're allowed to dig down. I don't do it. It's a lot of hard work.
Do you do that, Jason? I've seen people. I've seen them working in the two chaps that work in the pair that are well known on the foreshore, and they put their backs into it.
Yeah, I can't be bothered, to be honest. Also, it's just so black, the mud, you don't see anything.
Yeah.
You have to detect, and I have a metal detector, but it's a real challenge to find stuff with a metal detector because there's so much metal down there.
I saw in the image like that where all those pins were. It'd be just nuts, you know?
Yeah, or even that metal.
You've got a tiny little coil to.
Yeah, I've got a 4-inch coil. Yeah, so it's quite small, but still sometimes, I mean, I would say I found all of my best things by eye, not with a metal detector. I have found some good things with a metal detector, but it's not kind of my choice to use that. Also, I like hearing the birds, the fresh air, the waves. And when you're hearing beep, 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 beep the whole time, it just drives you a bit nuts.
Yeah. So does anybody swim in that water, or is it gross down there?
It's pretty disgusting.
Okay.
I've swam in it once, just to say that I've done that.
Yeah.
It was part of a kind of an event that they had. I do admit I drank a lot of whiskey afterwards just to chase down all the nasty stuff.
Disinfectant. Very good.
But it was pretty disgusting. I mean, a lot of debris floating past. You don't want to swallow any of it. And there is still raw sewage that's pumped into the Thames, especially after a big storm. So yeah, it's not great.
Now, at one point I saw there was a bunch of waves coming in. Is that just from boats, or is that tidal, or?
Yeah. So in central London, we have what's called the Thames Clipper, and it's almost like a hydrofoil boat. It goes very fast, and that throws up some very nice waves, which we actually like the boats, not because we get wet when we're hit by the waves, but it's constantly combing the foreshore and revealing things. So a lot of people, they don't even need a trowel or a rake or anything, because things are just washed up and laid directly on the surface. And outside of central London, where those boats don't go, there's no kind of erosion on the foreshore. So it's very difficult to find anything of any kind of significance outside of like central London. So the boats are both good and bad. So we don't have natural waves there. There's no waves that naturally occur. It's just from boat wash.
Yeah, that's wild. Have you found anything good lately, Chris? You've been out at your.
Some beads. I'm in my bead phase.
Oh, that's a good thing.
That's about it, right?
Do you ever find beads, Jane, or is that just too small for you to see?
You've
No,
got
I
some
do.
Roman ones.
Yeah, I've got the most. It's kind of bizarre, but the beads I find are mostly Roman.
Oh, really?
It's
Wow.
very strange. Yeah, I don't find many, and normally turquoise. But then I guess that's the color that.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what you see. Yeah.
saying, if I'm in waist deep water, that's the
Yeah.
color that I will see. Yeah, and they're quite large. They're sort of they're not minuscule. But yeah, I don't find too many beads, but I have been very lucky to find some likely Roman beads, as likely as you can be today to bead.
Yeah.
That's what I've got about 25 of them.
Wow,
Working
that's
towards
cool.
the necklace.
Yeah, they're beautiful color.
Worn. Yeah, so I've now found turquoise, white, green, and blue.
Very
You
nice.
can imagine Florrie and I love to talk about our rim beads.
Yeah,
And
she
supplies.
loves her beads. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So,
Are they
yeah.
typically glass? What would they be made out of?
Yes, they're glass. Yeah,
Glass,
and then and they're made in such a way as that they were wrapped around. You've got that twist, which
Around a rod or
Yeah.
exactly that. Yeah, around a rod, and they have a certain quality to the glass, and they sort of have a sort of chalky quality when they dry. They're very sort of distinctive and very beautiful, and they have a very large hole, and there have been quite a few recorded on the Portable Antiquities Scheme, and that and so they're found around the country, and they all have they sort of have a distinctive sort of profile. And I find, yeah. So yeah, I don't find many. It's weird.
So the Portable Antiquity Scheme is for the whole of England, not just.
Yeah, it's a great thing. It's run by the British Museum, and they're actually based in the museum. And this year they surpassed the 1.5 million mark. So 1.5 million artifacts, like historically significant artifacts, have been recorded on this database now. And it's accessible around the world. So you in New Jersey, California, wherever you are, you can research these objects. And fortunately, I've now been taught to record my own finds, so I can put them on the website myself, which is
So
really
you put a picture and a description and where you found it, and
yeah, you've got to measure it, the weight, circumstances of the find, describe it, and then photograph it, like you said. So, but it's a great way of recording this for future generations, and just to make sure it doesn't disappear into people's cupboards and just lost forever.
well, until the internet blows up, and then we won't have it at all. No, I'm just kidding. Well, let's print it out, the 1.5 million pages.
Yeah. So they've actually they've created 2 books now, which are brilliant. I'm not sure if you have those 2 books, Jane, but it's called Finds.
I have the first one. Yeah, I have the first one. I'm gonna have to buy the second one pretty quick.
Yeah, they're about 30 pounds each. So they're quite expensive, but they're well worth it. And it just goes through categories of different finds, like Roman jewelry, medieval toys, that type of thing. And it's just fascinating to see what people have found throughout the UK. And it's great. I mean, a lot of Mudlark's finds are in there as well. So it just kind of really builds the story.
And your finds too.
Yeah,
Quite a lot of your finds are in there. Beautiful photographs. It's a big old chunky hardback, a real tome.
Yeah.
It's those lovely coffee table books that you just keep dipping into.
Yeah, they say that history is like a big jigsaw puzzle, and each find that you find is one piece in that puzzle. And once you put them all together, you kind of see the full picture. And I think that's a great illustration of just this book and just seeing these amazing things that have been found. And so that some of the most significant things found in England in recent years were all found by members of the public, like metal detectorists or mudlarks or waders like Jane. And so even though there's a lot of archaeological digs going on, it's actually the things found by the members of the public are more significant than even on archaeological digs.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they probably just dig in and grab it and go, and the
They
archaeologists
hope for us.
gritting everything out. So
Yeah,
if you found something, you could go and search in the database and say, I found, arc-shaped brooch
It's
with
really
enamel, and then they'd go, oh yeah, that's cool. Very cool.
yeah.
Yeah, the
It's
online
almost,
database is brilliant. You can really search, you can really sort of drill down and put in little keywords and yeah, it's really powerful tool actually.
yeah, and they have,
I've worked lots of things out using it.
That's great.
yeah. That's almost the first place I look if I can't figure out what it is. The only wish that I had for them is you can kind of use a photograph and identify things by photographs. They haven't gotten that smart yet, but you can type in keywords, and also it kind of lists by area in which things are found. So like London is under LON, and then they do it by Roman, Celtic, prehistoric. They do it by age group as well. So you can really refine your search and locate things. But it's a great resource. And even for writing the articles, I use a lot of things that I find on the database.
Yeah.
If I can't find examples that I know friends have found, I find them on the database. And fortunately, all of the images are free to use as long as you credit Portable Antiquity Scheme, because they just want to make sure people can use that knowledge in their PhD work and their doctorates or in books, anything else. So a lot of the photographs in my book are from the Portable Antiquity Scheme used with their permission.
That's cool. Now, you said you have to report things that are 300 years or older, but who do you report them to? The Portable Antiquity Scheme, or?
Yeah, so in each museum, there's what they're called a finds liaison officer, and they're kind of the person that liaises with the finder and then records those on the Museum of London or the British Museum's database.
Okay.
So there's one person in London called Stuart, and he's our main point of contact here in London, but he's very overwhelmed because, as you can imagine, he's servicing the entire city as one person. And that's why he's been training a lot of us to record things ourselves to kind of help him out.
Yeah. Is mudlarking and wading and all that becoming more popular now, or do you think?
I think mudlarking is definitely it's rock and roll, isn't it? I think everybody wants to be mudlarking.
Yeah,
why not?
Yeah.
Not so many people want to get in rivers. I don't know why.
I do. That would be fun. Except I'm going to invent the anchor thing.
Yeah.
Maybe a giant bungee, just tie onto a bunch of trees and you can go back and forth and while you snorkel.
I think it's just the novelty of it. I moved to London in 2007. I've lived along the river the whole time, but I never knew that you could find anything historical down there, even though I've been down on the foreshore many, many times with my kids. They were just throwing rocks in the water or finding like crabs under rocks and little eels. And then I watched a show on the National Geographic Channel called Thames Treasure Hunters. And I was like, oh my goodness, you can actually find stuff. That's incredible.
Now you're sorry. It's ruined all of your trips to the beach, just like all of us.
Yeah. And literally the next weekend, and then every weekend thereafter, I've been down at the river just looking for stuff. It was kind of an epiphany moment to find out you can actually find stuff down there.
I know. You're so lucky. Very, very fun.
I think it's a shared passion, isn't it? Whether you're beachcombing or mudlarking or wading or whatever you're metal detecting, there's something in us that just makes
it's the treasure hunting gene or something, you know.
Yeah.
Can't help looking down.
I know.
Well, we went to Cornwall last summer and we found a lot of sea glass, and my daughter's having some earrings made of sea glass now.
Oh, good.
And when I said we're going to the Jurassic Coast, she wasn't interested in fossils. She said she wants to find sea glass. So I think it's just because they're just pretty objects and you can make things with them. That's why I think it's fascinating for young and old and everyone in between.
Yeah, I agree. But she can make some very cool earrings with some ammonite. So
Ooh, good idea.
yeah.
They're a bit heavy though.
Svea, get cracking on that.
Yeah, I have some. I haven't started working with them yet, but I've obtained some through locals there.
Oh,
I'm
good. Yeah.
excited
I
to get
did
to
a
work with
training
them.
with them.
Yeah,
They're so
they're
cute.
beautiful.
Your daughter will love them, Jason. Find her some.
Yeah.
Well, what I've been doing is trading garnets for jewelry making. So
Ah,
the jewelers asked me for garnets, and I said, well, can you make something in exchange? And I'd be happy to send you as many garnets as you want. So
Oh.
really, the garnets are a kind of currency.
excellent. Excellent.
Your Bitcoin.
Exactly.
It's called Mudcoin, the new mudlarking
I've
currency.
done exactly the same thing, Jason. I've sent some pottery down to Cornwall actually for a lady who makes wonderful jewelry, and she's made me a lovely pendant, and it's you know, she's so excited and I'm so grateful. It's just lovely, really, isn't it? That we can
You
spread
each
the
have
love.
something the other wants, so it works out
Yeah.
well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Neat.
Jason and Jane, when are you guys coming to Capitola? Because we're waiting for you, right, Svea?
Oh,
Yes.
I've never been to America.
Oh,
Never. Oh my
No,
goodness. Wow.
never crossed the pond.
Come.
Love to.
All
Well,
right.
Chris, I'm going to be in your area this summer.
My
Are you-
area?
Yeah, well, I'm coming to New Jersey.
Oh, whereabouts?
We haven't decided yet. So if you have any good tips, it's my parents' 50th wedding anniversary, but they live in boring Indiana in the middle of cornfields. So we want to go to the coast, and my relatives live just outside of Philadelphia, and the nearest beaches are there on the Jersey shore. So we'd love
Okay,
to
so
come.
Southern Jersey.
Yeah, if possible. So if you have any good like family areas, let me know. We haven't booked anything yet, but we definitely want to go.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I'll check that out because I'm further north, but there are a lot of family-friendly beaches in South
You
Jersey.
should go to Cape May, you go to Wildwood. You've already been there.
Yeah, Wildwood was great. I mean,
Yeah,
with the
the
amusement
kids
park
loved
on the beach,
Yeah,
and the
the
beaches were
boardwalk.
massive. I couldn't believe how, I mean, you had to walk like a half a mile to get to the water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
is Horsehead out there in that area? Horsehead,
Horsehead?
Horsehead, I believe. Mary Lou goes there to visit a friend.
Or is it Dead Horse Bay?
Dead Horse Bay. There we
Yeah,
go.
that's
Thank
actually
you.
in-
that's in New York.
New
yeah.
York. Okay. All right.
But you could go there, Jason. You could go mudlark in
that
America.
would be fun. You could see what our mudlarking is like.
It's very fun. You would love it, Jason.
Yeah, it would be fun.
It's got a bridge that's not quite as scenic as the Tower Bridge, but it's very fun.
A bit smelly too, but
That's okay. That's part of its charm.
true.
Is that where you guys went after you were at Wildwood for now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was kind of like girls on tour. There were about 10 of you that went out
Oh
there.
my gosh,
there
yeah.
were a lot of us.
And we ran into other ones while we were there too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey.
Is that the hot spot on?
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
a hot spot.
It's because it's so scenic.
Yeah, what do you find there typically?
It's the time period is pretty mid-century. So you can find perfume bottles, beads, buttons, stoppers, a lot of marbles, a lot of bottles,
I got a glass doorknob. That was pretty
not
cool.
right, doorknob, silverware, jewelry,
It was just it was a
a big
household dump,
landfill.
so it's got everything. Like the one that's near us in San Francisco is more of an industrial dump. So you'll find pipes and, sinks and stuff like that. But this Dead Horse Bay was like bottles and household stuff,
Household things, a lot of figurines,
Yeah. Vases and
Those are fun.
heads,
yeah, lots of heads,
lots of heads. I find lots of heads
lots of headless bodies.
and some headless bodies. Yeah,
Marbles for brains.
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, but your American marbles are really cool. Nothing like
I'm always a bit embarrassed to want to invite somebody to beachcomb in our area because I find it to be very difficult to find things where we live, and I follow a number of people, and they come home with handfuls of beautiful finds that I would rather go to them than have them come to me. Do you find that too, Kirsty?
It depends on the days. Like I've gone down to Rio Del Mar and come back with an entire bag full of perfect glass. But I
Wow.
swear for the past 2 years.
Yes, it's been difficult the past few years. Yes, I agree. Yeah.
It's just there's too much sand. I mean,
Same in New Jersey, same in New Jersey.
just
You
gotta
can
wait.
see it out there,
yeah,
but the tide just doesn't go out far enough.
no.
Right.
And it's
right.
like you got to wait until the waves pull this. All of the stuff is always there. It's just covered with sand. You got to wait till there's that like continental shelf, like you walk to the beach and then or else the stairs are all about 2 feet taller than the beach. And then everything's exposed.
Right.
And going down to Monterey, down in Sand City, that's almost guaranteed that you're going to find stuff because you can walk up on the hill and see all of the not sea glass in the hill. It's all there mixed in the sand. So, it's always falling in, and it just depends. So,
Yeah.
But I mean, you're not going to find anything old here. That's just the way it is, except for the fossils. And that's really, I think it's really fun to go to New Brighton because we have the sand dollar fossils, clam fossils, snail fossils, and some of them are agatized. So it's not like it doesn't look like gray stone. It looks like transparent agate, which is in the shape of a snail. So, I think that's really cool. But
I love those sand dollar fossils.
I
They're
know.
so pretty.
Yes.
And I'd love to go shark tooth hunting. I think that would be fun because those
That's
are all
on my bucket list. Yes.
But
I've been with a friend who found 2 on a pebble pile the same day. Yeah. And teeth. I like finding like the horse teeth, the cow teeth.
Oh, I don't like those.
No.
I always say nothing biological. I'm not picking up dog poo or medical. It's no medical and no biological. So no needles. And I consider the bongs, those are medical. I'm not picking those up either. So
well, my son's favorite find when we went to the Jurassic Coast was dinosaur poo.
Oh, excellent.
Yes. I follow a guy that finds them.
I couldn't believe you can actually find like fossilized dinosaur poo. He was so excited.
Yeah. How would you even know? I think it was a rock. It's so funny.
Yeah, how would you know?
They do have a specific look.
Yeah.
They do. Yeah.
Well, the next issue, actually, the cover story is Great Lakes fossils, and they have so many cool fossils there. They're just beautiful, and that I would love to go there. I think the North American Sea Glass Festival is going to be in the Great Lakes next year. So, Jason, if you come, you can go start checking out the fossils and all the marbles because Lake Erie is just
on there.
Yeah. So we'll be in Toledo. Holy Toledo.
Cool.
Well, I like the article. I forget who wrote it. I think it was in Wisconsin, and they found a beautiful arrowhead and all of these fossils there.
Oh, Minnesota. Yeah.
Minnesota. Yeah, that was really great.
I know. It was really cool. It was like, the Little House on the Prairie land, and that's where
who would have known?
The arrowhead was so beautiful. It was made out of kind of a reddish, pinkish stone.
Yeah, I think it was. Really cool. Very fun. All right, you guys get a sneak peek coming soon. That was all the sea glass colors, so I made a little poster out of it.
Oh, cute.
I wonder if your colors were all off in your issue, Jane. But anyway.
I
just got my proof today.
That page is beautiful.
Yeah, those pages were fine. It was only just it was just some of the Bellarmine was a bit strange, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. They were like purple.
It's on every sheet is 16 pages. So that whole sheet was messed up. So but
it was quite random in the magazine. It wasn't like 16 straight pages.
Because it's like all the way it folds.
Okay.
It's page 1, 16 are together, and 2 and 15 and the opposite side. So yeah, but there were, I think, 8 pages that were terrible. So
yeah, there was one page with all faces. Like I think it was Mary Lou, kind of her.
Yeah, she was very sunburned.
There was
All of those faces were very pink and reddish.
Yeah. Jane had a sunburned hand with a purple bottle and then a page with a giant purple bottle. Those shells, the little olive shells were completely pink. The sunset or sunrise
oh,
in the
that
guy,
sunset all over.
this guy, his
Good.
some of
It
his
is-
sunsets were really sunsetty. Yeah, so yeah, it's just the way it goes, man.
Just one of those things, yeah.
I was
Yep.
kind of glad that this page, since it was about color, did not get messed up. I would have been so mad. I would have been like, yeah, I would. Matt said he's just got back home. Matt's been out hiking today. So
Nice.
no, he said, do I have to come to the thing? I said, no, you can go hike.
He's normally the only other guy that's on this call.
I
besides
know,
me.
I know.
Yeah.
No, he likes coming. He likes asking the questions, but he was like, he just wanted to go do a hike today. He's up in Nicene Mark, so yeah.
Nice. Yeah, beautiful.
Redwoods. That was where our earthquake was in 1989. But there's
Oh,
tons
wow.
of beautiful trails through the redwoods there. So it was fun.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to say thank you again, Jason. This has just been so much fun. I really
Yes,
appreciate
thank you,
Yes,
Jason.
thank you. It was so nice to meet you.
for hanging out
Yeah.
with your fan club here. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're
I'm
ever
glad
in
this is my first Zoom, so I'm glad I got in on it and I could hear you all, but I couldn't see you. And so I was determined to get it done. So I went out and back in another way and there
Oh,
you all were. So
is this your first Zoom ever?
ever.
Oh my
Ever.
gosh, how exciting.
I did webinars and that through work, and those I even needed assistance getting set up for them, but I was successful on my own today, so I'm pretty proud of myself. Yeah. And to
Okay.
see you all and not just hear you is much more, I felt much more involved. So
Yeah,
nice.
no, it's really fun. It's great to see everybody too. I mean, that's a fun part of the Beachcombing Club is like we get to see everybody that we don't get to see normally.
Right. Yeah.
Hopefully that will change. So everybody get your shots, get your family and friends to
I'm
get your
done.
shots. And
I'm ready to go.
I'm
Yeah.
ready to go too. I may
Yeah.
wear my mask for a little while longer. Matt and my son Jack went to a Warriors game last night in real life. So they went to the basketball game.
Oh,
And
fun.
we had to do a home test for Jack because he hasn't had his second shot yet. So we got to do a COVID test at home and Matt had to show his vaccines, but yeah. And everybody was spaced out everywhere, but
It's starting to feel a little normal.
I
It feels
know.
good. Yeah. And we just had in the United States that they lifted the mask wearing if you for any reason, if you've been vaccinated fully. So that was a big deal this week.
Yep.
Yeah, well, on Monday here, restaurants open again, so you can eat inside. At the moment, you can only eat outside, and it's been very cold here.
Oh, that's
So,
true.
yeah, I had a wedding anniversary last week, and we sat shivering in the cold. trying to- Champagne was even more bubbly than normal because my hand was shaking.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, congratulations. Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
And your parents' 50th, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
When is
so, June 26th. So we're
Oh,
hoping to come in
yeah.
August.
Ready, Chris?
Yeah, we're hoping to come over in August for about 2.5 weeks just to spend time with them, see other relatives, go to the beach in Jersey, and yeah, spend time together as a family.
That'll be fun.
But let's see. I hope at the moment you guys are on the red list, so we're not allowed to go. But I hope by August we'll be able to go. But flights are so cheap now; it's like half price.
I know. My
Yeah.
sister was looking to fly to Florida because her ex-husband lives there with the kids. $29.
Oh, gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Well, we just had, my husband and I are anxious to go to Maui, and the fleets were all sold off on the car rental companies.
Yeah,
To
they're
rent
all-
a car for a week is $600 to $1,000 a week. And it's typically $150, $200. So there's just, they're renting moving trucks, just anything they can find to have a person have a vehicle while they're there. So
Wow, that's crazy. Uber.
yeah. Uber, there you go. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jane and Jason, I'm cleaning the bedrooms for you to come visit. So just get ready.
Bless you.
Okay.
We'll be there.
Whenever we get on your green list, then you guys can come.
Fantastic. Can't
Be awesome.
Just come and stay till you can go back. There you go.
And we have a sea glass festival every November.
Yeah,
the first weekend of
it's on this
November,
year.
and it's going this year. So we're excited. So if you can come for that, that'd be lovely.
Okay. How's the weather in November?
It's good. It's not raining yet, and temperatures plunge into the 60s. So there you go.
Oh,
2 years ago, when we had our last festival, it was blazing hot through the windows because it's right on the
Every year
beach.
it's blazing hot. Yeah.
Yeah, our festival is right oceanfront. It's at our boardwalk, which is oceanfront, where there's rides and, you know, it's like a carnival on the beach. And the sun was beating in through the windows, and it was quite hot for the vendors who were, you know, in that position.
I had a window booth. I was so happy.
That's right.
Great.
You did. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited that it's back. So we are hopeful.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
We're all feeling it, aren't we? We're all feeling optimistic.
Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll let you guys go to sleep, Jason and Jane. It's probably like midnight or something there. I don't even
That's
know.
not too bad, but I'm up with the lark tomorrow. I'm sure you probably are as well, Jason.
Yeah. Gonna be
Yeah.
an early one, so.
Yeah, early bird gets the worm. Well, great seeing you guys, and
Lovely.
thank you.
Thanks so
Nice
much
to
for
meet
having
you
me.
all.
Good night.
Fun.
Well.
Guys.